Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a debut puzzle by Manta Ray today. Welcome, Manta Ray. I imagine you're a dangerous swimmer and possibly a dangerous Sudoku setter too. We'll have a look at this in a moment. Don't forget that on Patreon, the October monthly reward is Caroline's Halloween Adventure by the Paint by Numbers Institute, a wonderful collection of Japanese sums Sudokus, each of which creates a picture. I particularly like a puzzle called Spider-Man Only Has a Bicycle in terms of the picture and in terms of the title as well, funnily enough. But I also recommend the final puzzle, the bonus puzzle in the set, which is a huge Samurai 5 interconnected Japanese sums puzzles. Excellent stuff, as usual, by the Paint by Numbers Institute, and who are the Asylum, Panthera, and SM Marcus 100, I think. So check it out. That's on Patreon, along with all our crosswords and connections stuff and other Sudoku goodies. Also, of course, there's our apps, which do feature Arrow Sudoku and Killer Sudoku. They seem relevant today, and Sandwich Sudoku. Great apps and great fun. Also, Sven's SUDOKU Pad, that excellent resource, and our merchandise, all available on the links under the video, as is this puzzle. And it's called Medieval Buffet. And I don't know why. Maybe there's a lot being served up here. But what are the rules? Now, normal Sudoku rules apply to the 9x9 grid, which is obviously this bit within there. So each row, each column, and each box will contain the numbers 1 to 9. We have to shade some cells such that all shaded cells are orthogonally connected, all unshaded cells are orthogonally connected, and no 2x2 area is fully shaded or unshaded. Those are the rules of yin-yang puzzles, of which we have done a large number on the channel now. So there's one group of cells within the 9x9 that is shaded, one group that is unshaded. Both groups are connected, they can't be separated. That's really unnecessary. I'm not going to display it to you. You may have probably seen it on the channel before, but each group is orthogonally connected. And there is no 2x2 area that is only one of those shaded or unshaded characters. Now, the digits on an arrow with the same shading as the arrow's circle sum to the digit in the arrow's circle. And that explains how we can have 4 different digits there and 1 there, because not all of them are counting. It's only the ones in the same color as the arrow's circle, as the circle, that count on the arrow towards that total in the circle. Okay. If both shaded and unshaded cells are found within a cage, each shading type must be connected in a single region. So that might be the shaded cells, that might be the unshaded cells in this 23 cage. Digits in one of these regions sum to the number shown. Okay, so one of those groups of cells would add up to 23. A digit may repeat in a cage if it is once shaded and once unshaded. Oh, that's going to just mess with one's head, isn't it? Probably. Now, that's the digits. So there's basically, I think that's the cages. I think what that means is within each cage marking is an actual cage that adds up to the given number in either shaded or unshaded, an actual contiguous group of cells. Anyway, I get that. It's understandable. And finally, shaded cells between the 1 and the 9 in a row or a column sum to that row or column's sandwich total. Every row or column has a unique sandwich total, and one total has been provided. That's this 9 up here. So in this column, the shaded digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 9. Oh, this is going to be tricky to play with. Let's hope we can get the yin-yang done quickly. I'm worried that we don't get anything done quickly, but I'm going to start the puzzle now. Do try it on the link under the video. I won't say anything about the spelling of medieval, which I find quite interesting, but let's get cracking. When I get stuck later, I'll talk about the spelling of medieval. Now, where do we start this? Well, we know something about the perimeter of yin-yang puzzles. And we know something about the colouring within them. Okay, we're told that there's no 2x2s, that's fair enough. But the perimeter's interesting because the perimeter can only have one group of each colour within it. And I am going to be talking in colours. We're going to choose two colours and treat them as shaded and unshaded. Now, what I mean is that you can't have two different sets of shaded cells like that, two different runs of them around the perimeter, because they would have to be joined together by the rules somehow. And that joining, that bridge, would break the connection between the other two corners in this case, but it could be bits appearing anywhere along the perimeter. Anyway, that means that there is only one group of shaded cells around the perimeter maximum and one group of unshaded cells. Simon did a puzzle recently where there was only one colour around the perimeter, which I found really interesting. I mean, it is certainly possible. Now, the other thing I was going to mention, we probably won't get there for ages, is that for the same sort of reason, you could never have a checkerboard within a 2x2 in the grid, because if you try and join up the purples in any way, you isolate some of the greens from the others in that situation. So that is a fact. Here we go. This is a break in the perimeter because there are 4 cells here. And therefore the rule must be applying that we're only counting whatever colour this circle is. Let's call it blue. These can't all be blue. And therefore, because they would be 1, 2, 3, 4 at a minimum, they would add up to 10, but we can't put a 10 in blue. Therefore, some are blue because that's not 0, and some are orange or whatever the other colour is. And that is a break between the two colours in the perimeter. Now we just need to find another of those in the puzzle. And we've got 2 perimeter breaks, and that's the most we can have, because of what I said about the perimeter only having 2 runs of colour. Now, is this a break? That is going to have to mean, actually it's going to mean that both of those are in the same colour, because if only one of them was the same colour, if neither of them was the same colour, that would be 0. If one of them was the same colour, it would be the same digit as in the circle, but they're in the same box. So that cannot be. So they're both the same colour. That's fine. That doesn't provide a break. It does mean that this is the same colour as well. Otherwise, there'd be 2 breaks. So let's just start. Let's call them purple. And now there's going to be a break here, but it doesn't really help. We need to find the other break. I don't think this needs to be a break. I don't think this needs to be a break. Obviously, by the way, there are orange arrows just so that we can see where they cross other arrows. There's no particular significance to the orangeness. I didn't mention that, but it's probably fairly obvious. Oh, that is a different colour. And we said that these cages only have one group of each colour. So those, is this okay for you, purple and light blue? I can't really ask you. Let's go with purple. Some people, well, 1 or 2 people have occasionally commented they couldn't really see the light blue as different from the white. Right, so now this is purple to avoid a 2x2, and this is purple to avoid a checkerboard. Now, if we can get onto this arrow, if I can make that purple, then we know that the break comes here and we're going blue around. this circle? Don't know. Okay, I didn't really think about this one. Oh, this is straightforward. Right. Okay, I don't know what color this is. I'm going to use a different color now, orange. It's purple or green because that's what the grid colors are, but I've only colored box 1. Let's call this orange. That's one of those two colors. That must have at least one orange cell here because that arrow, that circle is not a 0. But it's got to have both of them, otherwise there would be a repeat digit within box 3. Now we can't make both of these perimeter cells orange, or we'd have a 2 by 2. So there is I don't know how it operates. One of these is not orange, and the other one is orange because we're not allowed a checkable. We're not allowed to isolate that cell. But there is a break here, and that is the second break. We had one break here and one break here. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. I was going to say it won't happen again, but I have no idea. Right. So there is a break here and there is a break here, and therefore purple does come onto this arrow somewhere. But this circle is green, and that's going to run all the way round into... Oh, well, these two are going to be different. That's the point, because one is going to be green because we can't have 2 by 2, and the other is going to be orange because we can't have a checkerboard. So all of this is green, bingo. And this is purple, but I don't know what orange is still. That's really, oh yes I do, because we can't have a 2 by 2 here. So orange is green, brilliant. Okay, there's our start. Now to avoid 2 by 2s in the corners we've created, those go purple. That we've got to have at least one green on the arrow, so that's green. So there's just 2 cells. In fact, we can't have just one, or we've got the same problem I was talking about with this arrow here of a repeat digit. So that's green, and there's just one cell left. Okay, well this is a 27 cage. We know which color it's counting. You see, I don't know up in this 6 cage, but I do know here. This is counting green. Actually, this cage is counting green as well. I don't know whether green is shaded or unshaded yet, interestingly. And I'm probably not going to change it once I do know. I'm just going to work on sandwich totals of either green or purple when I do know. But anyway, this cage adds up. These cells add up to 27. Now I'm tempted to say that makes this a 9, and that group adds up to 9, and that group adds... Well, that's the maximum. That's what it does. Isn't it? The maximum this cell can be is 9. The maximum, well, that definitely puts 9 on the arrow. That would be 18. And the maximum these two can be is another 9. So that's what this arrow is adding up. This is a 9. And that's all that's green. This is not. That would be extra on the arrow. So that's purple. That's not being counted. Oh, this is green to avoid a 2 by 2. And that's green to avoid a checkerboard. And the 10 is adding up green. This cage 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 is adding up green. And I know that without even knowing whether this is green or not. But 16 has to be at least 2 digits. Now, it doesn't, I suppose, mean that this cage is adding up green, although it could be. Well, there's a start in the colouring. Now what? Now what? Now we've got to use these funky arrows in the middle, I suspect, or be clever at yin-yang, which I'm not particularly. But I'm going to have to join up the greens. I'm going to have to join up the purples. I'm going to have to make the cage totals. Can we have 6 cells of green in the 23 cage? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only add up to 21. We've got 9 pairs here and here. Oh, can that be within the 6 sum? Can this cage be adding purple? Which I suspect... Oh, well, hang on. Okay, the alternative doesn't work. It's the alternative that doesn't work. If this cage was adding green, that would be 1, 2, 3 to make the 6 total. This would be minimum 4, 5, but that is not allowed to be any digit higher than 9, and now it's not allowed to be 9. So this cage is adding up purple. So those two are a 1, 2 or a 4, 5 pair. This digit can't be 1 or 2. It's adding 2 cells. So that's 4 or 5. 1 or 2 in the corner. Now, 4 would be adding 1, 3. If it's a 5, that would be a 1, and it would be adding 2, 3. So that's a 1, 2, 3 triple in the top row. Oh, hang on. Or the key thing about the sandwich rule is probably not that we're given 1, 9 sandwich. It's that every row or column has a unique sandwich total. And that means that there are no 2 of them that are 0. 0 is a possible sandwich total, but it can't happen twice in this puzzle. And that is going to mean that green must count towards sandwiches. And I know that because otherwise, if green didn't count, if we only counted purple digits towards sandwiches, column 9 would have a total of 0 between the 1 and the 9, and row 9 would as well, and they wouldn't be unique. Right, so we're counting greens when we're making our sandwiches today. I will try and remember that by imagining myself putting lettuce and spinach in my sandwich and other green things. We're counting greens in the sandwiches. But this row, you're not going to get any greens into the sandwiches because the sandwiches can only be in those cells. So there's our 0. We found a 0. And I have carefully made sure we've got digits that we can write into in the perimeter or make notes in. Now, if that cell was purple, that would be 4 and 5, and that would be green, and that would be a 9. Wouldn't that be helpful? A bit. Maybe it wouldn't be that helpful, but it's... Oh, this pair add up to 9, and they're not now a 4, 5 pair. Purple there is not adding that cell, so it needs something purple in this pair. I don't know. I'm putting that pencil mark in for now and hoping I can remember what it means. This column, we're adding the greens to make, and they're only within that range to make our 9 total because we're adding the greens for... Now, we've had the 0. Okay, that means 9 can never be next to 1 anywhere in the puzzle because there could never be green cells between them. It certainly doesn't mean that can't be 1, unfortunately. It means this and this can't be 1 in this column, but I don't know what good that is. What do we do next, guys? This digit is at least 4. So that's at least 5. Is that informative towards the 23 total? I'm inclined to think not. This is either green, adding those 2 and maybe that, or purple, adding that and maybe that. This one, I don't know. I don't know on either arrow what it's doing. Is it yin-yang? Am I meant to be able to deduce something about yin-yang from here? Or a rule? I don't know. What on earth are we meant to find next? We're counting green cells, so every row and column now has a positive sandwich sum. Oh, because row 1 had the 0. I don't know what that means. Oh! Okay, I've just noticed these 2 cells can't be 1 because of the 1, 2, 3 triple. I mean, Manta Ray, you could have given us a few more sandwich clues or something, couldn't you? What on earth is there? What is available as a next step? I'm quite pleased with what we've done. It's used up all my knowledge about yin-yang. But I do feel absolutely confused as to what we can do next. Most of these circles could have a single cell on their arrow in their own colour. There's no rules about how many of each colour go in each row or column. Even if I got excited about the fact that 1 has to go in that area, and yet we have to fit 9 in and have a green cell between them, at least 1, I don't know what I could do with that information at all. Okay, let's think about this one. This mixes colours for the same reason as that 4-cell arrow did. So there are green and purple along here. I was going to say, and that is either green or purple, but that applies to every flipping cell in the grid, so that's not a lot of use. If that was purple, that would be purple and would be the same digit. Have we got anything to go on here? What have we got to go on? I don't really understand where we're meant to get any information from. If this was purple, those 2 would add up to 16. They would be a 9 and a 7. But that's not a problem for column 9's sandwich total or for anything else. It must be to do with the sandwiches. I must have not thought of something important about sandwiches, where we have to have 18 different sandwich sums in the puzzle. Even that actually is quite hard to achieve, I would imagine. Oh, here's things. These 2 add up to at least 10. Because we've used 1, 2, 3 in the box, and this can't be a 4, 5 pair or that's broken. So they add up to at least 10, and that is not green, that is now purple. And that is therefore adding those 2, and that is a 9, and that is green. Ah, I see. And it's so obvious when you see it, and it's so unobvious until you do. Now, these 2 cannot both be green. That's quite interesting. It's going to give me the colour of this one. How do I... Okay, another thing that much more simply gives me the colour of this one is that arrow. 9 is the sum of purples along the arrow, so that's purple, 7 or 8. You can work out why I knew it was purple from that arrow if you want. But now, this is either purple and is that 7 or 8, or it's green and is that digit. That's interesting. Well, it's semi-interesting. But we have definitely got purple and green along here. I don't know what colour this is. Can it not be that digit? There would be another one of them there. They would be purple up here, both of them. I don't know. Oh, the rest of these digits in row 1 are 6, 7, 8, 9. That one can't be a 9 because it's on a circle. That has to now be 7, 8 or 9. And the biggest possible difference here is 3. 1, 2 or 3 there. 9 by Sudoku goes in one of those cells and not in that cell. So that's 7 or 8. That brings this down to 6 or 7. Oh, and that digit is part of this foursome, but it's not in the same box as itself, so it's there. So those two are equivalent. Whatever this is in one of those two cells as well, in box 1. So they are from 7, 8, 9, and that's a triple. And this is now either adding that purple or that green, but it's not allowed to be 9. Now, that doesn't mean I can rule 9 out of this cell because it could be purple. It does mean it's selected from 7, 8, 9, and it's not allowed to be 9. So I still don't know its colour, but it is 7 or 8. Sudoku, you see, that is your friend sometimes. Now, we've now got a biggest possible difference between those of 2, so that's 1 or 2. 9 is definitely in one of these cells and in one of these cells. If that was a 7, that would be a 7. I was about to say if that's an 8, that's a 7, but I don't know that. In fact, this can be a 2. Okay, we've got this 23 cage. I haven't really been thinking about that so far. What about the 23 cage? Well, okay, these digits. Now, we've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad in this box. So everything else in the box is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, what is our maximum? 8, 10, 19 already. And we're definitely going to be okay, maybe I should look at the minimum actually. 7, 1, 2, 3 is 13. No, that doesn't really do anything. Okay, but at least we're doing something in this now. 4 and 5 in this row are there and there. So that is 4 or 5. We're narrowing things down a bit. 3 is in one of those cells. Not interesting. 1, 2, 3, 9. So these are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In fact, look, I've got pairs in this box. That's a pair. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 6. And that's a quad there, so that digit is the same as that one. I'm going to have to start colouring these, but I don't want to disturb the yin-yang colouring, which is sort of doing something valuable, whereas colouring the digits against each other would be very speculative, let's say that. Now, these involve 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4, am I right? Has to be in one of those digits. Why am I thinking that? No, it's nonsense. No, well, that just was meaningless. Oh God, it's such a boost when you get the little thrill of colouring all of those and that, and knowing that that's a 4, 5 pair and that it's doing something. Ah, we've got this 9 column thing going on. The sandwich. So does that mean it's counting the greens? I don't think it means anything yet. I really don't. If this was purple, that digit would be green. Is that interesting? No, and these can't both be purple for 2 by 2 reasons, but again, they could both be green as far as I can see. These two are the same. Okay, so the one that's in these cells is different from that. These two are the same based on the comparison between that group and that group. These two are the same. I am going to give them a little bit of colour, a bit of yellow there. This is different based on box 2. And that digit appears in one of these two cells in box whatever that is. So this digit is not yellow, it's the red one, either there or there. This is the red digit, but I don't know what colour this cell is. But it's interesting, isn't it, that this is the red one out of 7 or 8? I mean, those two are now the same digit, I just don't know if they're the same colour. But I do know, for instance, that these cells are not from 7 or 8, because they see both colours of 7 and 8, which is a surprise. Same is true for this one. So that was interesting, but it feels like a little diversion rather than the main thrust here. Oh, and we've got these two adding up to 9. Oh, well, let's just work that through. If that was an 8, this would be a 1. This would be a 7. That would have to be a 6. And that would be a 7. And this would be a 1. If this is 7, that's 8. That's 8. That's 2. That's not really doing anything. I can't see how that sorts anything out. Good grief, what's going on, babies? If that's a 4, that 4 appears in one of these cells. Maybe let's do this count again, because we're including that cell. Maximum 19 so far, minimum 14. I mean, these digits, no, I was going to say it can't be a 9, but I don't know if we're counting them, so I've no idea why I would say that. For this to be purple, this is a 9-7 pair, that would make this a 6. And that does almost nothing else. Wow, what the heck? I'm missing some arrow, that's what I'm doing. There's some arrow that's really, really, really important right now, and I don't know what it is. Or is it the 9 total down this column? Oh, 9 can't sit next to 1. I announced that earlier. So there we go. There's a 2. Because then this sandwich would not have a realistic total. Yeah, okay. So that's a 2. Now this is a 2. And now we can fill in 6 and 8. And that's a 7-9 pair. And we've got the colours. That's 8. I can get rid of the colours, which is good. These are both 7s now, because that's a 7, and this is now either 7 or 9. So that's a 7. Doesn't make this a 7. But let's get rid of red and yellow, because they did the job, such as it was. It was really just seeing that 9 too. That can't be a 1 for the same reason. We can't have 9s next to 1s. And we've got to enclose green digits in the sandwich sums. 8, 2, 7, 9, 1, 3, 6. Okay, come on. 2, 2, oh yes. 9 in the circle, 7 there, that's a 2. This is now a 1-3 pair, so that's 4 in the circle, 5 on the other side of the grid. Oh, bother, I'm in the wrong mode. Sorry. 2, 4, 5. And none of these are a 5. They're 1, 3, 4. This is a 5, 6, 8 triple. Oh, this cage, we're beginning to add it up. 15 already. Right, if that is green, this is a 1, 3, 4 triple to make the remaining digits. If there was only 2 making 23, they're not allowed to use the same digits in green, so they couldn't be 2, 6 or 5, 3. And they can't be 1, 7 because of that. So there are 3 digits in green in this cage, and they are a 1, 3, 4 triple, and that digit is the same as that. Right, now, come on, we're rocking. We're not rocking, we're half an hour in and we're stumbling still, but we're doing something. I still don't know the colour of this one. Oh, sandwich sum down here? Don't know. No, don't do that yet. Just keep 9s away from 1s. That's going to matter either there or there. We're going to get a 9-3 pair and a 7-1 pair. This circle has become 5, 6. Oh, this now can't be 4, 5 or 2, 7. It's either 1, 8 or 3, 6. It can't be a 1 next to the 9. If it was a 1 here, that would be an 8. These two add up to 10. That's purple though. That's counting either 1 or 2 of these cells. That's what it's doing. It's the sandwich rule, surely. 1 is in one of those cells, and we've got a 9 here. If that was a 1, this would have to be a green 2. Oh, look, it can't be green by yin-yang. So that is not a 1. That is 3 or 4, and is the sandwich sum in this row. So it's either 3 or 4, because the 1 is in one of those cells, and the only green cell surrounded is that one. I just didn't see that 2 by 2 forming. That's just slowness. Right, come on, we're doing stuff here. 9, yeah, it's about these sandwiches as they begin to form. It is. We've got to find green cells to make the sandwiches. That's so weird as a concept for the puzzle. 2, 4. If that's 1, 8. I don't know. The rest of the column is very easily doable either way round. 7s. If that's green, that's also a green 7. That's not interesting. This pair do add to 10, and they're not 7, 3 now. There's still a lot of possibilities. Okay, no, that doesn't work. I was going to say where's 7 in column 1, but it could be at the bottom, which I didn't think of first, but it could. Right, come on. 3 or 4 for the sandwich. What's the sandwich in this row? If that's a 1, that's a 7 and is the sandwich. If that's a 1 though, either some of those or some of those are the sandwich. That just doesn't seem as helpful. How about the sandwich in column 5 where we've got the 9? Oh, here. Oh, right. These can't be the sandwich, can they, in column 1? Because it would be 9 and we would be repeating the 9. So the 1 can't be anywhere here. The 1 must actually be here, sandwiching an 8. There we go. We've got another of the sandwich sums. It's an 8. Now, is that going to be suddenly interesting because we're not allowed an 8 somewhere else? Oh my goodness, this puzzle is going to get very tough if we're going to have to do that sort of consideration. 3, 5, 6 or 7. This one means that that is 6, 4, 3 or 2. Honestly, I don't know which. It doesn't seem to help with that. But we've got an 8 here. We've got a 1 on that arrow. If only these were all the same colour, we'd know that was 2, 3, 4 and that was a 9, which would be lovely, but I don't. Oh, this purple has to get out there. So that's purple. I was about to use the run of colours thing on arrows, but it doesn't. It applies to cages. We've only got one cage cell left to colour. That's surprising. So 7. Okay, could they all be purple? They would be a 1, 2, 4 set. Oh no, I mean, what I mean is, could they all be the same? And that's a totally uninteresting question because I just don't know what's happening. If that's green, I don't know. I don't know what that circle's doing. I mean, if I could make that a 9, I could colour this, which I'd love to do. If that was purple, these would both be green. I feel like I've got something happening then, but it's not a lot. Okay. Haven't got many sandwich totals done or considered yet. Oh, this now can't be 7, 3 or 1, 9 because of that. So it's 2 even digits of some ilk. And okay, what they do prove is if this cell is purple, we're adding 2 purple cells along here because we couldn't be adding 1, 2, 4 or that would break. And we couldn't be adding a single purple because it would be a 7. So if 7 is purple, it's adding up 2 digits along there, and they include either a 2, a 4 or a 6 and will determine what this pair is. I mean, it's such a complicated calculation at all. Wow, I mean, what's going on? I don't know. This is an overlap cell between that arrow and this arrow. Ah, that digit. No, I was going to say that digit has to be the same colour as that one. It's absolutely not true. On the other hand, if they were different colours, those two, these two would have to add up to that because this can't. My point is that this cell can't be adding just one of those two. Okay, here's a nice little weird point. 9 is in the central box somewhere, knowledge bomb, but wherever it is, it's on an arrow. And it must, I think, well, it must therefore be not counting. Even that's not quite true. Because, for instance, you could put 9 there, have it counting, and have 9 there, as long as those two are a different colour. That's so strange and annoying. Okay, let's go back a bit to sandwiches. Okay, sandwiches tell me we don't have 1 here or here, because there it would be next to 1 and would give a 0. Here it would be only sandwiching a purple digit, which doesn't count. We're only adding greens. So the 1 in this box is in one of those cells. Now one of those, whichever one it is opposite a 9 up here, because that 9 can't be opposite the 1 in row 1, because then the total would be 0. So the 1 up here is opposite a 9 somewhere here. And we can count the green cells in between as either there and maybe there, or there and maybe there. But it's fine to have a big number outside the grid. Obviously some of them are more than 10 because there are 18 unique numbers outside the grid. And I'm left floundering again. I don't know what to do. I suspect with many deductions already made and still to come in this puzzle, you can probably just jump ahead till I find it, because if you can find it first, then you're just waiting till I see it. Of course, it may not be a fully linear solved puzzle. Oh, one of those two is a 1 in this column, because if that's a 1, that's the same digit and is a 1. And one of those two has to be a 1. So one of those two is a 1. Now, does that matter for the 9 thing? I don't think it does, really. Okay, what is going on? I do not know. I've got so few 9s and 1s, it just feels like the sandwich stuff is impenetrable at the moment. What can be penetrated then? This arrow. We know the total is 7. That must count for something. If it was adding purple, we might have 2 there and 5 there. That's the only way it could be 2, 5. Let's literally work on this. Then that would be a 4, 6 pair. And that would be green. Oh, that would give us a checkerboard. So if it's 7 and if that's purple, it's not a 2, 5 pair. Could it be a 1, 6 pair? That would then be 2, 8. That would not be a 1, and that would be a 1. Maybe a simpler question is, can 2 of these be purple? If there are 2 of them purple, it's not allowed to be those 2, because that would be green. So it would have to be these 2, and that's why it couldn't be 2, 5. Could it be 3, 4? The rest of the column, the rest of the row would have a 1, a 2, 8 in it. This cell would be green. So if that's purple, these are the purple cells being added. They could be 3, 4 or 1, 6. Either way round, that becomes a 2, 8 cage. Right, what happens if that's green? Then we're adding these 2 cells. At least. Could we be adding 3? Well, maybe if this was a 2. Okay, oh, I don't know. Could we be adding 3 green cells? This is certainly something to think about, and I'm getting a little further than any of my other thinking on anything else so far, so it's worth persisting with, I think, for a bit. If that is, oh no, if that's purple, they can't, but this can't be purple. That's so interesting, because it can't be adding 3 cells, because 1, 2, 4 would break this cage. I'm just going to recapitulate why this can't be purple. And it can't add 1 cell, or that would be a 7. And if that was purple, this is green to avoid the 2 by 2, and this is green to avoid the checkerboard. Ah, so that is not purple, that is green. And that is now a 7, because that's what it's adding here, and that's a 9. This can't be a 1, because we can't put 7s next to 9s. I am getting some digits in the grid. Now, we've got a 9 here, and a 1 somewhere down here or here. Oh, not there. The 1 in this column has to be here now. It can't be there because there's a 1 in the box. It can't be there because it would be next to a 9, which we've ruled out. So the 1 is there. It's adding green cells only from this area. Okay, well, at least we got something into the grid. few bits and bobs. And we've got this green 7, which is adding at least these 2 cells. Now we know that this digit is not purple, because that would be a 7-9 pair, and this green would be adding at least a 7 and at least a 1. Too many. So that is not purple, that is green. This is purple to avoid a 2 by 2. All of these 3 add up to 16. Knowledge bomb. These now, can we have a third digit in the total? It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 4 along an arrow. There could be a repeat. Can it, for instance, be 2, 3, 2? I'm going to think about the repeats first of all, and then get to 1, 2, 4. So if there was a repeat, the digit would have to repeat between those 2 cells to be in different boxes. And it couldn't be a 1, except it could. Ah, no. In fact, can this be green? The answer is no. Oh, the answer is no, because that purple has to get out. That's why. So that purple gets out to there. Now we can't have a checkerboard, so that's purple. Now this 7 is just adding these 2 cells, and it can't use 6 and 5, so it must use 3 and 4. And that becomes a 1. And this is 2, 7, 8, 9. This can't be a 2, or you couldn't make up the 16 cage. So 2's down there. Goodness knows what total of sandwich we're going for in this. Oh, again here it's 3 or 4. Now we've got that 9. The sandwich here is 7 plus either 3 or 6 or both of them. That's annoying. I don't know what to make of that. That is 3 or 4. This hasn't really sorted out this row. Okay, back to the 16 cage. 9. If that's a 3, that can't be a 3, 4 pair, because we've had the 3, 4 pair in the box. So this is not 9. That's interesting. If that's an 8, that can't be 4, or it could be 5, 3. If that's a 7, 3, 6, or 7, 4, 5. Looks like this can only be 5 or 6. Now, what green cells can we add up in this column to make 9? Not that 1, and not those 2, and not that 1. So this must be green and must be in the sandwich sum. And there must be a 1 or a 9 below it, and a 1 or a 9 above it. It can't be a single 9, so that must be in the sandwich sum too. You can't put a 1 here. Well, you couldn't add 1 in the sandwich anyway. But that means we're not adding all 3 cells, because this would either be a 2 or a 1. So we're adding those 2 to make the sandwich, and this is a 1 or a 9. And there's another 1 down below it. And the 2 cells we're adding are 5, 4 or 6, 3. Wow. Readjust your seat in excitement, Mark. There's a 1 or a 9 down here, but 9 is definitely in one of those cells. Yeah, that can't be 9 anymore. So there's a 1 in one of those 2, and that's a 9. There's another. Now we've got a sandwich in this row. Bingo. We've got to put the 1 here to get any green digits into the sandwich at all, and the sandwich total is 7. And that means that in this column, we're not going to be putting, well, actually I can see that 1 is in one of those cells. In fact, we've placed 1 in box 2 now, there. And we're going to need green somewhere before a 9 in this column too. Ah, it's getting quite interesting on the sandwich side of things now. We've also got that 1, no 9 above it. So we're going to have a 9 below it somewhere, but not there. Goodness me. 8 is in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. Ah, where's 8 in this row? It's in one of those 2, which add up to 10. So they're a 2, 8 pair. These are from 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not 7. Has this changed? No, not in the slightest. 2 and 9 are in that group of cells. I'm uninclined to sort of worry too much about the sandwich sum here, because there's once it's double digits, it's a bit less interesting, honestly. That is Sudoku. That's a 7. That's a 9. And now we're adding at least those two in the sandwich in this column. In fact, 1 is very specifically here in this column. It's the only place it can be. That's good, because we've got this pencil marked 1. So we are adding those two. Okay, well that's quite interesting. This column is 11 or 12, which I shall write in like that. And it depends whether this is 3 or 4. It goes hand in hand with this. If that's 11, this is 3. If that's 12, this is 4. I mean, it's good to have this aide-memoire of finding out what the sandwiches are on the perimeter. We've still got to have green under there. We've got to have more green under there because we're not having 7. And we've got to have green under there. So all of these columns have to have green sandwich digits in. It doesn't necessarily mean it forms a barrier or anything, but it's very interesting. Oh, these two purples have to get out. So those are both purple. Oh, this is 1 in a circle. So it's the same colour as that one. That's what it's adding. And those two are a different colour. And they're the same colour as each other. Wow. Ooh, come on. That must tell me which way round they are, but I don't see how it does. Can these both be purple and these two green? Okay, let's get rid of that colouring and let's come up with some little, no, not like that, some funky colours for these two that are different. So, which way round doesn't it work? If we're not shutting off that 7, if those were purple and the grey cells were green, it works fine. Although, well, this digit would then have to be purple and be, yeah, one of these two has to be purple. Okay, here's an interesting point. If these greys were purple, where is 9 in row 5? Because those purples wouldn't count towards the sandwich. So that would be a green counting towards the sandwich, and that would be a 9. In fact, that would be the only thing counting towards the sandwich. Now, are we going to begin to run out of single cell sandwich sums? Which is quite exciting as a concept. It's amazing the things that excite me, isn't it? Especially in what is clearly now a very long video, will not be done in an hour in this. Now, there's a 1 in one of those two cells. Let's just do something. There's a 9, not there, but in one of those two. I don't know. Well, oh, I see. It was if they were green, they could be sandwiched digits, and we could even have a 9 there. Although, no, I think this is going to have to be 9. That's quite interesting. This can't be 9 anyway. That can't be 9 by Sudoku. If this was 9, it wouldn't be purple because of that. It would be green. But this needs to count purple, and they need to be the same. So they would be purple. 9 would be green. And you'd have nothing to count for the sandwich. 0. No good. We've had a 0. I think I've just proved that there's a 9 here. I have. That's good enough. That is a 9. So the sandwich sum in this column is, there are 6 possibilities which I don't want to list. They start with 14, maybe not full 6 possibilities, but they end with 21. The sandwich total in this row is more interesting. If those are green, that is the sandwich total, and it is the same as that. No, if those are green, they are the sandwich total. if that is green, then this has to be purple. So then they're both purple, and then this green is the sandwich total, which would have to be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Fascinating, isn't it? But we've got to count 9 on this arrow. If they were all the same colour, they'd have to be 2, 3, 4. What an exciting conclusion that wasn't. Okay, there is green within these cells, and there is also purple. There's purple because of that needing to have purple within those, and there's green because of the sandwich needing to be positive. So those are the same colour, that's a different colour. I can make that light blue as well. I mean, it's thrilling, isn't it? I still do, oh yes, no, I don't know whether blue or grey is purple and which one is green, and they both seem to work either way as far as I can see, unless I'm really missing something there. The 9 by Sudoku in row 6 is in one of those cells. Might well be the counting cell, the only counting cell on its arrow, or might well not be. It's just evil. But we must have some green within this area to count for a sandwich sum in row 6. So if this is purple, it's the same digit as that. I don't see how that helps. Oh, well, okay, these are now different from each other. So only one of them is purple. So that is counting itself in one of those places. Well, that's a little more interesting. One of those places is that digit and is purple. It's not very interesting, is it? You're right. Now, yin yang, I haven't really thought about that for a long old time. I haven't thought about the green we're counting here either. It can't be 8 as a total, so it couldn't be a green 8 there and 2 purples here. That's very unexciting information. It's almost interesting to know what that noise is. Where does 9 go in the bottom row? Because it's either there, where it would have to avoid being next to 1, which would put a 1 there, or it's in one of those, where it would have to avoid next to a 1, which would put a 1 here. That feels almost interesting. So 9 is avoiding being next to 1. So the other 9, which is in one of these 3 positions, is not avoiding being near the 1. If this 9 is avoiding being near, no, this 9 will be near a 1 in the bottom row. That doesn't do anything for me, sorry. I don't know what to think about those, so, you know, almost no apology necessary. No, this can't be a 3 by Sudoku anymore, so that's not a 6. That really did the absolute back end of nothing. 2 and 8, 9 and 1. These are from 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 9, 1. That can't be 8 either. The 8 in the column is in one of those cells, but they're not both looking at that, sadly. Oh, there's only, well, the only 2 8s in these rows are in these two. So they are an X-wing on 8s. It's thrilling, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, so if that's a purple 8. Then we have a purple 8 somewhere here. I was going to say, and then what do the other... Oh, we've got a pair. Do they add up to 9, or can they add up to 9? Or can't? Oh, right, that digit is different from that. Let's colour these. Yellow is different from red. That is red. This is yellow. These two add up to 9. That's yellow. Look, those two add up to 9 for the sandwich. These two must add up to 9, therefore, because it's the same digit there and there for the cage. So that's a 7. Oh, that's genius. Then I get an 8. Then we've got a 2, 8, 9 triple here. Wow, colouring is your friend suddenly. On 3s and 4s, but I don't have any other cells marked as exactly 3 or 4. That's a shame. Now, that we've got a 3-4 pair in this box, that's pretty clear. So now I've got a 5-6 pair. And... okay, yellow and orange add up to 9. They're either 4, 5 or 3, 6. So red and blue add up. Not blue. Dark blue. Red and dark blue add up to 9 as well. And that means these two add up to 9 as well. They must be the counterpart. And therefore, this one can't be a 4, so that one can't be a 5. Fascinating information. But also, these two definitely add up to 9. They are yellow and orange between them. One of these is red or purple, maybe both. If that was both red, oh no, one of them's a 7. That's by Sudoku in the row. So that's not a 7. Yes, we got that a moment ago. One of them is a 7. The other one, I don't know. I don't know if it's a 5-6 or a 3-4. I feel like I could, but I don't. That was a lovely step with the yellow and red. I mean, what, an hour and 2 minutes in. This could be a 2-hour video. That purple 5, 6 or 8 is in one of these cells. Come on, now do something more. Oh, this is a 2. That's the last digit in the box. Everything else is in a kind of pattern. So one of these two is a 2. And that is the digit that is not repeated from here. Now, what's that telling us? Is the yin-yang suddenly resolved and I can't see it? I don't know. Or some part of the yin-yang. I don't think so. I don't see how it is. I think it's probably back to sandwich Sudoku somehow now, which is criminal, frankly. Oh, okay. 2, 5, 6 or 8 in those. But I don't know which are green. If that's green... Oh, the green one here. Right, the purple one is the 5, 6 or 8. So the green cell here is the 2. Now we're allowed a 2 total. If that's green 2, that is a 2 total. If that's green 2, we add it to that green digit to get the sandwich total for this row. There's things that wouldn't be allowed. You wouldn't be allowed a 6 or a 5 there. So if that's green 2, let's just work out what happens with 2s, if anything. I don't know. I don't know. Or this arrow. I haven't really thought about this one. Is it the single 9 that it's adding, or a pair that could be 3, 6, or 4, 5? I don't know. Oh, here's an interesting thought. Either that is adding the 9 in one of those cells and the other 2 are the other colour, or it's adding 2 cells in this row, but whichever way round it goes, the 9, wherever it appears, is a different colour from the other 2. Well, I can, no, I can't. I was going to say I can make that grey. Well, if that's a grey 9, these are both blue. If that's a blue 9, these are both grey. If that's a blue 9, these are both grey, but that's impossible. That's a 2 by 2. If that's a grey 9, these are both blue. If that's a grey 9, these are both blue. Has blue shut something off then? It's shut off grey if grey is green. Oh, and grey would have to be green. Yeah, this can't be a 9. That's so extraordinarily strange. If this was a 9, these two have to be a different colour. Well, they can't be grey because that would be a 2 by 2. So that would be grey. Oh, and you'd get a checkerboard. Okay, this is not a 9. That's amazing. This is a 9 and it's a different colour from those two. But again, I still don't blooming know which colour, even in grey-blue terms, let alone in purple-green terms. That's so strange. I've run out of colours in a way. I've run out of colours. I can't colour that different from those two, but it is different from those two. Oh, we've got the sandwich somewhere. No, it's not that important here because there's things to add between the 9 and the 1. We've got a sandwich here. That needs a green. There you go. Grey has become green. That's a good start. Blue has become purple. The sandwich in this column is that cell only, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Now, it's not allowed to be 7 because we've had a 7 sandwich. So, and we knew 7 was in one of those cells. That is really annoying duplicated information. Oh, goodness gracious me. But at least we got the green and the purple done. Now, what does that mean about... So, if this 9 was purple, well, that would be purple as well. And they would both be green. They would be the way out for this green. That's possible. Let's imagine they were both green. These would be purple. This 9 would be the way out for the green. They'd all be green. That would be green, but... Well, that's quite interesting because to avoid a 2 by 2... You'd have purple there. Oh no, hang on. I've been assuming that the 9s are the same colour. That is a rash assumption because that colour could be the same as this pair, which could be 3, 6, or 4, 5. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've made any assumptions on that basis. Don't worry. I'm talking to myself. I know you're not worried. You're worried for my mental health, and that's fine. So am I. gosh, grief, what next? That's 3 or 4, and it's 11 or 12 in the other column. So there's somewhere there's a sandwich that's impossible for some reason. It's not that one. It could be this one in green cells up here. Can't be a single 8. Oh, this is the purple. That's not the 2. Of course, we said the green 2 was there. We said the 2 in this area was green. That's the 2. Oh, the sandwich in this row is now 5, 6, 7 or 8. It's not allowed to be 7 or 8. It's 5 or 6. And that is 3 or 4. And we can colour it red, which is extraordinary that we can even get something coloured. One of these is red, but one of them could be yellow too. Oh, the sandwich in this column is 3 or 4. And luckily it is different from the sandwich in this where is it? Where's the other 3 or 4? Yes, in this row, where it's that one. Oh, it's so weird, but they are different. That is the red digit. That is the yellow digit. Oh, it's doing me in completely now. Now, this is 5 or 6, and that is dependent. If red is high, this is a 6. If red is low, that's a 5. Now, the sandwich in this column is at least 9. It's not allowed to stop at 9, is it? So something green is happening up here. Now, I can go back blue and grey. Those are the same colour, and that's a different colour. But I haven't actually resolved them. That's extraordinary to me that they're not resolved. So this is either blue, in which case that's blue as well to avoid a checkerboard. That's not true. That's just not true, because blue could be purple. Oh, I don't know. If blue was purple, some of these have to be green to do the sandwich. Now, where's 9 in this column? Oh, that's quite interesting. If that was a 9, this is yet another single cell sandwich, which isn't allowed to be 3, 4, 7 or 8 in the sandwich repetition area. And it's not allowed to be 9, 2, 7 or 1 in the row and column. That would, if this is green, well no, if this is 9, this is a green 5 or 6. And the sandwich sum is the other of 5 or 6 from this one, which is made up of those two. Oh my goodness. Is there really something going on there? That's hard, and at this stage. Oh, where's 8 in this column? It's in those cells with 1. That's interesting. I mean, it's surprising. It probably doesn't do anything at all because I'm not really focused on 8s. I've still got a sandwich to make up in this row. 1 there would now lead to 9 there and 8 there. And that would lead to 1 here, 9 here. And it would have to have some green there. I mean, it's sort of interesting, but I don't think it's telling me anything. These digits are from 3, 4, 5 and 6. I thought that was nearly a quad. Well, that can't be 8. So 8 is... 8 in column 4 is definitely here because of that 1, 8 pair ruling it out of there. That's an 8. That puts 8 in that circle. That does 2 and 8. Wouldn't it be wonderful if a tiny deduction like that actually sorted things out? It's kept a 7, 2 pair out of there. That's a 3, 5, 6 triple, and that's 7. Come on, keep doing little bits. This is 3, 4, 5 or 6. Everything's 3, 4, 5 or 6 now. Does that mean I should do more 7s? Yes, this is a 7. That's good. Now, we got the 1, we've had the 1 in this column for ages. Now, are these, if that's green, that has to be green as well, because we can't have the checkerboard. Can we add them all up? Can we have a 2? Yes, we can. We haven't had a 2. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But it's new information. There's new stuff going on. And maybe those things that combined to make 9 were good. We had a pair that made 9 in this row, so that makes 9 with that. So that is 5 or 6. And it is the 5 or 6 that is not orange, that we haven't even designated a colour. Oh yes, we have, blue. That is the blue 5 or 6, but I don't know. Well, am I wrong about that? No, I'm not. I think these are making 9. These are making 9 as well, but I have less information. Okay, come on. Can those possibly make 9? And the answer is yes, if that was 6, 3. The answer is no. That cannot be a 6. No, the answer is no, they cannot make 9. That's a different, it's an important question. Can these make 9? And the answer is no. That would have to be 6, 3. But that would make this 5. And for these two to add up to 9, that would be 4. And then 4 and 3 would be in the same colour. So that those two don't make 9. If they did make 9, that pair would make 9. But since they don't make 9, this pair doesn't make 9. Which is just crazy, crazy times. But it's true. Now, that means if that pair made 9, that pair would make 9. Since that pair don't make 9, that pair don't make 9. And that means this pair don't make 9. And that means they include a 5. Otherwise, they would be 3, 6. I think that's true. I mean, I stand to be proved wrong, but it seems right. So they include a 5 and they don't. These include a 5 and not a 4. And there's a uniqueness argument that supports that. Anyway, these include a 5 but not a 4. That uniqueness argument is useless given the sandwich rules that we're working on, by the way. So I'm not relying on that in any way. These include a 5 but not a 4. There's a 4 in one of those. These are from 3, 5, 6, 7. These don't make 9 either, so there is a 4 there. Yeah, okay. But it hasn't really sorted out red and yellow. This can't be red or yellow because it sees them both. So we'll take 3 out of there. Anywhere else that's happening? I doubt it very much. Sandwich clues. They're the hard thing to remember all the time. To even remember to look at, oh, here we're on 20 or 21. Might as well record that. I don't think it matters very much, but hey. Now here, if these are both green, we're adding up to, don't know, somewhere between 11 and 13. If neither are green, we've got 2, but 2 of them could be green. It could be 6 or 8. Goodness me, 79 minutes. Well, I'm going to get to 100 comfortably. Yin yang. I'm so bad at yin yang. That's almost certainly what I'm really stumbling on the most. Sandwich though. We've got to have more green in those cells somewhere before a 1 in this column. And here, if that's a 9, this is 3, 5 or 6. Well, it would have to be 5 or 6. if it had to be, if that was a 9. And if that was a 9, that would be a 9. 1 would be here, 1 would be here. That would be an 8. Does that do anything? It's quite interesting how it flitters. Oh, look. There's a 4-6 pair. Oh, bingo. Bingo. Assuming I've done this right, and this was based on that couldn't be a 5. I'm definitely using it. That is a 4-6 pair. Yes, we've got a 3 there. That's a 5. Okay, so this is 6 to make the cage work. That's 3. That's 4 to make the 23 cage work. That's 3. That's 4. This is 5 to finish the box. This is 4 to finish the row. Finish. I'm talking about finishing things. Yes, me. Now, we didn't finish much. Yes, this sandwich needs that to be a 3. That's right. And this is now a 1-5 pair. And this is a 4-6-7 triple. Might as well put those sort of in the grid. Oh, I think that logic was right, but it was quite overexciting. I mean, I think I've used all of my blue and red flashing and yellow. I'm getting rid of it because it's just there clogging up the grid at the moment, and orange. And now it frees up other colours. Now, 6 is the sandwich total in that row, so that is a 6. In this column, it's 4. So in this row, it's 3. That is right. Okay, there was more flashing of colours that I don't need now. And lots of these single-digit sandwich columns are done. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 2 and 5 are the only single-digit sandwiches I could enclose now. And in this column, it could be 2, couldn't it? I'm not allowed to just add that. I'm not allowed to add just that. So, if this was purple, that would be purple. But if this was green, that would be green and would be up to 11 or 13. Oh, I've done it up here. This is an 11, definitely. That's the best way I can show that. Now, are these numbers not resolved? Even here, 3, 6 or 4, 5 pair. I don't think they are. This row, I still don't know whether these greens join up. The total there would be 16, and that would be fine. I'm not allowed it to be 7. I mean, I knew one of those was green to avoid 2x2s. So it's either 10, 16, or 13. And they're all available, which is a real shame, just for me. Oh, I almost know what it is here. Right, 7, 10, 14, or if the 9 is down there, 24. Wow, that's weird. This is 14 or 24 in that column. This column, this is the variable one that I just don't know. This one I haven't really thought about much. Again, that would have to be, if that's a 9, that now has to be a single 5, a green 5. There's still more to do, isn't it? That's not an 8. I've just noticed that because of this. Now, if that's a 9, this is the 1 in the row because we mustn't have a 0 sandwich. Oh, that doesn't work. That's lovely. If this is a 9, that's not allowed to be 1, so this is the 1 in the row. That's an 8, and now this sees 9 and 8 and is a 2, but that leaves nothing for this. So that is not a 9. Good. That's a 2-8 pair. This is a 9. Now I can fill in 14 up here. That's another sandwich done. There's going to be a huge sandwich here, probably. But does that do anything else? It's a 2, it's an 8 X-wing, there's a 1 X-wing. That's not a 3. Is that useful? We've got a 2 to put in this row somewhere. Or 8 and 1 in this row. Nearly got a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quint, but not quite. Oh my goodness, it's just not falling over, is it? We've got 11 there already. And we're either, no, we know that's 11, we've finished that. This one was 4. This column, we've got 9. We have to add more green somewhere here. But no info. Oh, 9 is not there. 9 is here. That, of course, 9 can't be next to 1. That's how we do that. Straightforward. Losing my reason at this point. Now, 5 there says that's not a 5. This 1, we've got 9 there. At least one of these two is green. Are there other totals that we're not allowed? We're not allowed just a 5. Not really is the answer. And here we've got to have some green. Oh, those are difficult. And this one's difficult. It's just not resolved still. But 8 there sees the corner, 2, 8. That's where we got the 2 in the bottom row. We need a 2 in one of those cells and in one of those two. 8, 5, 1. So here we need green in one of those two, including a 2. And they can't both be green. Oh, sorry. That's Simon. I'd like to finish this puzzle before I deal with him. I talk to Simon, sorry. Deal with him. That's not what I think of it. 2, 3, 4, 6. Can't do those. Now, come on. There's a 2 there, but they can't both be green, so we're only adding one cell. Oh, it can't be 3, 4, or 6. It's got to be the 2 that is green, and this is a 2 clue. And that means that we can't have 2 somewhere else. Where else was I threatening to have just a 2 sandwich? Here. We've got to have more green here. One of these is green. It can't be just that one, because then we'd get a checkerboard. So that is green. And now we're up to 6 or 8, and we can't use those. They've been used before, so we've got to use that. And we can't make it 11, so that's a 6, and we get a 13 sandwich. Bingo. Bingo, bingo. That's purple to avoid the 2 by 2. That's purple to avoid a 2 by 2. Now, I still don't know what that's adding, but never mind. That's now a 3. There's Sudoku to do. We get a 5 and a 4. That's a 6 and a 5. That is a 4. That is not a 4. We've got 2, 3, and 6 to place in this bottom of this column. Oh, come on, come on. These are a 3, 5 pair. They don't add up to 9, so purple needs that to be purple. And those are green. I don't know what colours I'm putting in there. There we go. Those are green. Now, come on, yin-yang. Or sandwich. Or something. We're getting a 2 there. That's such a weird row. This row, it's an enormous number. This row, it is 8, 14. It's not allowed to be 14, so it's got to be 18. Good golly, Miss Molly. That went green. Now this purple has to connect up here somewhere. Oh, maybe 7, 10, 13. We're not allowed 13. They're not both green. Are we allowed 10? Oh no, then, sorry. 13 would be if 6 only was green. 16 or 10. Bother. Bother, bother. That can't be 2. That can't be 3. Let's just do some Sudoku here. 7, 1, 8, 9, 3. That's 2, 4, 5, or 6. 1, 8, 9, 7, 2. 8, 1, 2, 4, 9, 3, 5, 6, 7. Come on, we're nearly there. Yin yang. I still haven't. I mean, in these puzzles, you normally finish the yin yang first and then do the numbers. Couldn't be more opposite. That's a naked 6 in the. Oh, that's going to sort out things. That's a 3. That's not 6. That's not 3 or 6. That's not 4. Something. This row is done. That's a 7. That's a 6. That's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 7. That's 5. Come on, keep going. No, can't. That's not 3 or 4 though. We've got 2 6 pairs everywhere there. Wow, these can't have a 5 in. Okay, so I'm down to this now, and now it's sandwich again. Also, this purple has to get out somehow. That's crazy times. It's hard for it. One of those is green and one is purple. Now, we've got this column, 7, 9, I don't know, that's so variable, but so is this column. This row is as well. Oh, this row we know the number, it's 21. That's great, because now this can't be 21. Oh, well, that is already 20. Bother, didn't notice. Right, so in this row, come on, we've got to finish this now. That has to get out. Come on, breathe, 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 breathe. 1 and 9. Some of these are green and they add up to a number. So in this row, it's a 2, a single green 2. And it's in one, well, it's in one, obviously in one of those cells. And the other one is purple. Oh, the other one is purple. Right, it can't be this, I'll show you. It can't be that way round, because purple would have to get out through a 2 by 2. So it's the other way. That's mad at this point to have to do something like that. Those are both purple. Now, the green in this row is from those 3 cells. It could add up to 12. But then the purple couldn't get out. Oh, this is crazy. So it can't be 9 or 11, so it's not those 2 being green. So the purple doesn't escape there. Can it be 5 or a single 4 or 6? Could be 5. We haven't used 5. That's annoying. Okay, this is so nearly done, and I can't see what to do. Right, this column, we know the number. No, it's 3 or 5. Yes, that's 5. There we go. That's the 5. Now I can do Sudoku. Now I can do more Sudoku. Now I'm left with a 2-6 deadly pattern. Beastly, beastly deadly pattern. But I got the 5 in that column. That was a 5. Now we mustn't have 5 in this row. So this row is going to... What's it going to do? Does it... This purple has to get out. So one of these is purple. But we've used 5 and 7. It can't be both for 2 by 2 reasons. So that must also be purple. Then we're going to add to either 9, no, or 11, I want to say no again. Bother. Can we make them all green? No, because then the purple's not joined. I'm sure we are... Oh, this is a 2. That's just the Sudoku. Right, so I think the Sudoku's finished. But we've still got to get this out, and I couldn't do that with the... Oh, the 3 is in the sum. I forgot that. Good. Now, what's the sum down here? We've got 12 already, which we're allowed, but they're not allowed to both be purple, because that would be a 2 by 2. So it's 12 plus 1 is 13. Or both is, it can't be that. That's green. Now the purple has to get out. There we go. So it's 16 there, which is allowed. That hasn't been repeated. So those are purple. And now in this row, we've got 7. And we've got to have another green. We mustn't do 14. We must do 12. That's green. This is a 12. Now, why didn't I think that worked before? This column. Oh no, that was already done. That was a 4. Okay, all the columns are done. It's just this row to do now. This is so weird. One of these is green and one is purple, because the green has to... No, the green mustn't join up. Yeah, one is green and one is purple because the purple has to join up. That's it. So one is green and one is purple. We've got 7. It's either 10 or 13, but we've had 13. So this is a 10. What an extraordinary construction. That's green, that's purple, and this is definitely correct. It's worked so well. Now, the solution may not be in there. Well, it says it's not, but I don't think it understands it, so I will fix it so it does. Yeah, it's trying to compare things in the puzzle. I will fix the solution key so it does understand. This is the solution. What a medieval buffet. Over an hour and a half. Well done, Manta Ray. That's fabulous. Amazing puzzle, amazing construction. I'm so pleased I finished it. See you next time. Bye for now.